New technologies are making it easier and more attractive for IT spending to shift from on-premises to the cloud. As businesses are making this transition, they need employees skilled in cloud. Currently, there is a gap between the demand for cloud skills and the supply of qualified employees. Demand will continue to grow as businesses modernize and cloud optimize to take advantage of the benefits of cloud computing. Building your cloud skills helps you prepare for these in-demand entry-level roles. In this course, you learn about the Cloud Support Associate role. A Cloud Support Associate provides support to customers through troubleshooting and application of best practices. This is an entry-level role that doesn't require extensive experience. This course is designed to help you understand the requirements for the Cloud Support Associate role. You learn about the typical daily tasks expected of the role, the required technical and professional skills needed to be successful in the role, and create a plan for continued learning. To begin, watch a short video overview of the Cloud Support Associate role. A Cloud Support Associate applies advanced troubleshooting techniques to help customers resolve complex problems that span across cloud services. A Cloud Support Associate is an entry-level cloud role that doesn't require extensive experience. You will need a basic understanding of IT and cloud computing concepts, including troubleshooting skills, database fundamentals, networking and security, and web and application servers. Some experience with programming and scripting languages such as Python, Java, and Bash is needed. The level of coding experience required will vary depending on the role and the organization. Your role may focus more on a specific domain, such as networking or security, but it's important to have a broad knowledge of cloud solutions. On a typical day as a Cloud Support Associate, you're primarily responsible for responding to customers. You connect with customers over the phone, email, and live chat to analyze their issues, deep dive into the root cause, and apply troubleshooting techniques to provide solutions. For example, a customer running a web server on Amazon EC2 may contact support when the server stops responding. You deep dive to uncover that changes made to security groups have blocked access. With the customer, you fix the problem so they can serve their customers. You may also be responsible for writing and updating documentation that outlines best practices and solutions. This could include tutorials, how-to videos, or technical articles for customers and internal teams to use. Keeping this documentation up to date ensures that customers get fast solutions to common problems. In addition to working directly with customers, you will interact with solutions architects, development engineers, and other internal teams. As a primary point of contact for the customer, you will need to share feedback with internal teams on service and product issues or enhancements. To be successful as a Cloud Support Associate, you must be a good problem solver, a team player, and have strong written and verbal communication skills. In the role of a Cloud Support Associate, you are an advocate for the customer. If this is exciting to you, then get started building your skills with AWS Educate. Each day will bring unique challenges. You need to be able to shift between tasks to support customers. Choose each tab to review some examples of daily tasks that you might do as a Cloud Support Associate. You answer a call from a customer who asks. You are assigned to monitor the question boards on AWS Repost. A customer posts the following issue. Why aren't my Amazon S3 objects replicating when I set up replication between my buckets? To deep dive and find a solution, you ask the following questions. 1. What error messages are you getting? 2. Have you checked the logs? 3. What mechanism are you using to replicate? S3 sync or a custom command in CP or data sync? 4. Is the data encrypted? If yes, is the key still valid? Does the mechanism have the correct KMS permissions? 5. In terms of IAM, does the principal that's attempting to read the objects have read and list access to the resources and the additional write actions for the destinations? 6. Did you run the AWS Identity and Access Management Access Analyzer? After gathering the information, you suggest that the customer update AWS KMS encryption files to replicate objects encrypted with AWS KMS. This change fixes the issue and objects begin replicating successfully between buckets. You answer a call from a customer who asks, "Why am I having trouble connecting to a Linux EC2 instance?" To deep dive and find a solution, you ask the following questions. 1. What type of machine are you trying to access it from? For example, Mac, Linux, or Windows. 2. From which port are you trying to access the instance? Port 80 or port 22? 3. Is the instance running healthy status checks in the AWS Management Console? 4. How are you trying to connect to the instance? For example, using SSH or EC2 Instance Connect. 5. Can you access the machine using any other ports? 6. When you check the monitoring tags, is the instance out of capacity? 7. Can you access the resource locally to check that the service is working? For example, can you access the running website on port 8080 from the EC2 instance itself? The customer says that the instance is out of capacity and you help them upgrade the instance to a larger type and set up CloudWatch monitoring for these kinds of errors in the future. You receive a support email from a customer who asks, "Why am I having write latency spikes on my Amazon RDS database instance?" To deep dive and find a solution, you ask the following questions. Do you have high availability? For example, do you have more than one RDS database instance or read replicas? 2. In the monitoring tag, is any one instance or more than one instance showing capacity issues? 3. What is the velocity of the data? For example, have you enabled higher provisioned IOPS drives? 4. Is your application making sensible use of batch writes? For example, can you optimize your code to batch write items, 100 in one call, as opposed to 100 heavy overhead calls that write once? The customer identifies that they are having capacity issues and they choose to upgrade the instance class and increase the storage size. They tell you that with that upgrade, the write latency spikes stopped happening. You are working with a customer who is new to AWS. They email support asking, "My costs are higher than expected. How do I optimize my architecture to reduce costs?" To deep dive and find a solution, you ask the following questions. 1. Which area of costs are a problem? For example, S3, EC2, or OpenSearch. 2. Did you identify the specific situations where the unexpected costs are occurring? For example, on which services or at a particular time? 3. Did you over-engineer the solution? For example, do you really need fault tolerance or high availability? 4. Do you have any underutilized resources? For example, have you checked AWS Trusted Advisor? 5. Did you check whether your applications are sending unnecessary data to a resource? For example, excessive polling with Amazon SQS. The customer uses the AWS well-architected tool to analyze their architecture and find several ways to optimize costs. They can now visualize costs across services and implement changes to successfully reduce costs. You received a trouble ticket from a customer service representative in your company. They took a call from a customer who has an issue with a new update to your website that isn't reflected in the documentation. To dive deep and find a solution, you ask the following questions. 1. Does the ticket provide all the information that you need, or do you have to go back to the ticket author with clarifying questions? Examples of clarifying questions include the following. Was this error confirmed through testing? For example, can the bug or problem be replicated? Does an internal check match the customer's issues? If not, send the ticket back to triage for more information. When does the issue need to be fixed by? Was the ticket acknowledged with the customer? 2. Who is the person that's responsible for administering the fix to the documentation? When will it be done by? You worked with several customers to optimize costs without making significant architectural changes or adding engineering overhead. You helped customers to modernize their Amazon Elastic Block Store volumes, swap out underlying compute for Amazon RDS and Amazon Aurora, and move Linux-based workloads to Amazon EC2. You decided to write an article to share these cost optimizations and post it to internal channels. You get messages from colleagues thanking you for writing it, and your boss asks you to publish a version publicly for customers. Technical skills are knowledge and abilities that are used to perform the practical tasks of a job. These skills typically require the use of tools and technologies to apply concepts. Technical skills are learned through education, training, and hands-on practice on the job. Choose each tab to review some examples of technical skills that you will need as a cloud support associate. The following are specific cloud computing skills for a cloud support associate. Explain general cloud computing concepts and its benefits. Discuss the financial and business outcomes of cloud services. Determine the proper allocation of cloud resources. Apply the allocation of resources based on changing needs and performance data. Explain how different cloud services are used in architectures. Perform basic functions with core services in compute, storage, networking, database, and security. Identify and implement security controls across services given a specific requirement. Explain serverless and container technologies. The following are programming and scripting skills for a cloud support associate. Understand programming thinking, understand functions and basic statements, configure tools for coding, apply programming concepts like data structures, conditionals, loops, variables, and functions, use simple programming to solve challenges. The following are specific networking skills for a cloud support associate. Demonstrate skills with IP addressing, subnetting, and routing. Use networking troubleshooting tools and techniques. Evaluate LAN or WAN performance. Use standard protocols involved with TCP/IP communications. Use the OSI model in troubleshooting networks. Explain the functionality of networking hardware. And explain how networks physically connect. The following are specific security skills for a cloud support associate. Configure security settings or access permissions. Install security software, firewalls, and monitoring services. Apply network security principles. Help customers set up monitoring security activities. Help customers investigate security breaches. Help customers with compliance for security regulations and standards. And manage security access to cloud platforms and cloud services. The following are specific databases and data warehouse skills for a cloud support associate. Choose an appropriate database type and architecture for the use case. Understand database schemas. Understand basics of relational and non-relational databases. Use basic features of data warehouse services. share database security basics, backup and restore a database from a backup or snapshot, assist customers with database migration best practices, and use data modeling techniques. The following are specific operating system skills for a cloud support associate. Have working knowledge of operating system concepts. Have experience with several different operating systems and their features. Patch and maintain operating systems. Help customers set up system monitoring for health and impact on application performance. Troubleshoot common operating system issues. Help customers set up logging for operations and maintenance. Share best practices for operating system backup and recovery. Take a moment to pause and reflect on the technical skills that are required for the Cloud Support Associate role and how your technical skills align. Where are your technical skills strong? What technical skills do you want to work on?